Chapter 3. A child of heaven, a child of Buddha Guiguzi, reborn a token of gratitude. After several long, furious blasts of the horn, sounding like the roars of some strange wild boar, the motor car waited for 3 minutes before a servant ran out and flung open the 2 iron gates, allowing it to roll slowly into the courtyard. Willows, hibiscus trees, prickly pear cacti, tufts of maidenhair grass, porcelain garden stools, and beds of unfamiliar flowers appeared dimly beneath the electric lights spilling in from the street, all surrounding an enormous Western-style villa. Every one of these things made a powerful impression upon Douane. For the first time, he felt that his life had perhaps entered a new era. The elderly fortune-teller, meanwhile, kept casting triumphant sidelong glances at him, reinforcing each glance by driving an elbow into red-haired Douane's soft flank hard enough to make him grunt. Seated beside the solemn chauffeur, Douane did not dare protest in any way. The car stopped before 12 cement steps. The chauffeur got out and opened the door. Madame Deputy Douane stepped down with her Japanese parasol, leather handbag, and dog. The old fortune-teller followed, carrying his wooden case, umbrella, and mat. Douane was the last to get out, whereupon the car turned towards the garage. A woman whose clothing marked her as a servant hurried down to take the cumbersome objects from her mistress. Madame Deputy Douane asked, "Where is the young master? What is he doing?" "Madame, the young master is bathing." "Bathing? Has he eaten yet?" Without waiting for an answer, she turned and said, "Ch.3, why have you let him bathe out here like this? Who leaves him sprawled out in the open?" "Madame," the young master insisted, "if I do not indulge him, he cries." Inside an enormous metal basin sat a huge, plump boy with a vacant face, splashing about like a 3-year-old. If he stood up, he would have been well over 1 meter tall. Countless toys lay scattered around the basin: a stuffed dog, a doll, a motor car, an aeroplane, a trumpet, and many others. Setting her dog down, Madame Deputy Douane said eagerly, "Ah, my little boy is bathing, Maman's good little boy." "While Maman was away, did any of the servants hit you? Loulou, up, up." Madame whistled twice. The dog immediately raised its forelegs, trembling upon its hind legs as it struggled to stand upright, its long tongue hanging out, as though greeting the boy in the basin. The boy had been staring blankly while splashing water all around him. At the sight of the dog, he frowned, tossed his head aside, and said, "I won't." "Very well, then Maman apologizes. Shall Maman give you a kiss?" "I won't." Madame Deputy Douane stood there helplessly for a while before asking, "Then be a good boy and finish your bath, and afterwards come inside and eat with Maman, all right?" "I won't." "Very well then, but if you love Maman, give Maman a kiss." At once, the boy stood up. Good heavens, he might have been called a boy, but he was already remarkably grown. Stark naked, he rose to his full, towering height and kissed his mother. Even if the spectacle possessed no other grotesque merit, it was at least no less remarkable than an indecent photograph. According to the poorly educated servants, Madame Deputy Douane's son was already fully qualified. To erase the astonishment from the faces of Douane and the fortune-teller, she turned to them and explained proudly, "A child of heaven, a child of Buddha." The fortune-teller immediately understood that this was a son obtained through prayers. Only Douane continued staring blankly. Madame Deputy Douane went inside. Almost immediately, the boy began shrieking and sobbing. She shouted, "Ch.3! The boy screamed, "You come in with me! You come in with me! Ch.3, quickly, dry the young master and carry him inside." On the woman's back, the enormous boy wriggled foolishly, pretending to ride a horse and crying, "Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up." The sight offended Douane so much that he could no longer bear it. Under his breath he muttered, "Bloody hell, some child." At the door to the drawing room, Madame Deputy Douane pointed inside. "You two sit here and wait for me." She then entered another room. While they waited, the two men repeatedly saw the gigantic boy, now wearing a shirt but no trousers, poke his vacant face through the doorway and laugh, hide himself again, poke his head back in, laugh once more, and then disappear again. He wore a pale yellow silk vest with an enormous red seal printed upon both the chest and the back. Around his neck hung a heavy gold chain, a gold pendant, and a black amulet cord. They heard Sister Ba pleading, "Young Master Puok, put on your trousers." "I won't." "Put them on, or that gentleman will laugh at you." "Then make him play with me." "Yes, put your trousers on, and I shall make him play with you." "I won't." The fortune teller kicked Xuan's foot and said, "Unmistakably a child obtained through prayers." Only then did Xuan understand. He nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, I see. Strange though. The old lady certainly looks like a Frenchman's wife." Xuan raised a finger to his lips and made a soft hushing sound. "She was," the fortune teller whispered. "Then how did she come to have an Annamese prayer-born son?" Before Xuan could answer, Madame Deputy Douane's voice was heard. "My little boy, Maman's precious little boy, put on your clothes quickly and be good." Then she entered. This time she had removed her long tunic and circular headscarf. Beneath them, she wore a thin silk blouse with no corset and equally thin silk trousers, making her resemble a devotee of nudism and causing Xuan to feel like a badly brought-up lout. The fortune teller rose to observe the proper courtesies. Madame Deputy Douane asked, "Do you read horoscopes or faces?" "Madame, both." "Which is more accurate?" "Horoscopes are more accurate, Madame." "Then read mine." "Would Madame please tell me the date and hour of her birth?" "Oh, I have forgotten. I cannot remember them clearly." "Then I shall read your face, Madame, though it may not be as precise as a horoscope." "Very well, go ahead." Madame's features are excellent. Of the 12 physiognomic palaces, only one gives cause for concern. It is the marriage palace, the palace of the husband. Madame's cheekbones are slightly high. Madame Deputy Douane frowned and replied somewhat sharply, What is there to be concerned about? Monsieur Douane was extremely good to me, and Mr. Fan was equally kind and honorable. Even as Mr. Fan lay dying, he still said that he loved me. How many women in this world have had 2 husbands as good as mine? Yes, Madame, but according to the ancient school, that is called a second marriage, and having been obliged to take 2 steps is considered regrettable. Ah, that is different. According to the modern school, a woman may have any number of husbands, provided they treat her well. You have read me correctly. Madame is charitable by nature and always takes pity upon others. You read wonderfully. Madame's wealth palace is excellent. Her property palace is better still. As for the palace of the ancestral graves, thanks to the blessings of her forebears, they appear to have been buried upon most auspicious land. And what of my children? That palace is also excellent, though the number of children is somewhat small. Madame Deputy Douane again appeared dissatisfied. Small? I already have 2 children. My daughter Jeanette is away at school and will soon sit for her baccalaureate. Young Master Puok here is eating well and growing rapidly. In 3 months, he will be exactly 11 years old. How can 2 children be considered few? Madame, the sages say, 1 son means 1 has children. 10 daughters mean 1 has none. However many daughters there may be, according to the words of the sages, they do not count, since Madame has only 1 son. That must be considered a small number. Ah, so having only 1 son is considered having few children. Madame, Might Madame still wish to marry once more? No, I have made up my mind, and I call upon the spirits of both Monsieur Douane and Mr. Fan to bear witness that I shall remain faithful to them both. It is true that I am still extremely young, but people already regard me as old. I should remain unmarried and devote myself to raising my children. That is precisely why the Children Palace indicates only a small number. You read wonderfully. And what of young Master Fuok's destiny? The Buddha of the Perfume Pagoda sent him down to me more than 10 years ago. I only fear. His destiny is excellent. He was born to enjoy life. He shall spend his entire existence in leisure, enjoying wealth, honor, health, and peace. Madame Deputy Douane lowered her head reverently and said softly, I am only a mortal of fleshly eyes. I fear that if I fail to satisfy him, he may demand to return. The fortune teller objected eagerly. There is no cause for concern. One glance at his features is enough. The young master possesses the marks of great longevity, and thanks to him, Madame's prosperity shall become more firmly established than ever. Wonderful, wonderful. Your predictions are the finest in the world. If Madame can provide the precise date and hour of birth, I shall prepare a to-be horoscope. Then I can predict what will occur in every year, every month, and every day. You can do even that? Yes, Madame. A horoscope is far more precise than a reading of the face. Very well. You should go home before it grows too late. Come back in a day or two and perform that service for me. Sister Bai, give the gentleman 1 piastre for his cab fare and see him out. You must remember to return and read the horoscope for me. Yes, yes, Madame, I humbly take my leave. We shall return at the appointed time. The fortune teller gathered up his umbrella, mat, and wooden case and departed. Madame Deputy Douane then asked Xuan, You there, do you know what I have done for you? Alarmed and confused, Xuan took several minutes to answer. Madame, had it not been for you, we would still be locked up at the police post. So you do understand that you owe me gratitude. Madame, I shall never forget such a favor for as long as I live. Do not call yourself my servant. I am a civilized woman. I recognize no class distinctions and make no division between rich and poor. Yes, Madame. Are your parents still alive? Madame, both my father and mother died when I was young. Poor thing. Do you have a wife or children? No, Madame. Poor thing. But that is very good. Times are difficult now, so there is no need to burden yourself with a wife and children just yet. Do you know why I brought you here? No, Madame. I am waiting to hear what instructions you may have for me. I have always been charitable and compassionate. You, too, are deserving of pity. You were earning a living, and then suddenly lost your employment. You must be suffering. But why were you so foolish? Young men are naturally mischievous, of course, but you should first make certain that the other person consents before you. Xuan stared blankly. Madame, I do not understand anything. They suddenly struck me, dismissed me, and oppressed me. Enough! Do not deny it. I am not denying anything. Then why were you dismissed? I was preparing towels and bathing tubs for the club members. I was hard at work when that Frenchman came in, dragged me out, struck me, and cursed me. Were you not in the middle of... With the most innocent and sincere expression imaginable, Xuan replied, I was plugging a hole in one of the lead pipes in the club's bathroom. Oh, then when the Frenchman accused you of an offense, why did you not defend yourself? Xuan blushed for a long while before stammering, Madame, whatever offenses he accused me of, how could I understand? I do not know French. Madame Deputy Douane stood motionless, swallowing her disappointment with an audible gulp. She remembered the various errors and misunderstandings of long ago. Ever since she had once been violated, the rare, indescribable, and strangely intoxicating sensations of that experience had followed her like a shadow. In time, the memory had become an obsession. She continued to long to be violated again, but that rare opportunity had never returned. Consequently, she had only ever violated her husbands, in all truth, and she called upon the spirits upon both her shoulders to bear witness. Not once had she been violated by either of them. After reading the tearful history of Kim An, in which it was said that at a certain provincial pagoda, monks and nuns pretended to be Buddhas, descending to bestow children upon women who came to pray for sons, she immediately made inquiries and went there. She had been disappointed. When she returned home, it was Mr. Fan who bestowed a child upon her. There had been no monk or nun involved at all. And now, this latest occasion. Confronted by Xuan's honest face, she became slightly dejected. Perhaps he really had been dismissed unjustly. She was beginning to feel irritated. Then, an idea flashed through her mind. "Come upstairs and wait while I take a bath. Afterwards, I shall explain why I brought you here." Xuan obeyed. They climbed the stairs. Upon reaching another drawing room, Madame Deputy Douane said, "Sit here and look through this album while you wait for me." She then entered a bathroom only a few steps from where Xuan sat. She removed her clothing, put on a rubber cap that completely covered her hair, and turned on the water. From the metal shower rose, water poured down in torrents. From time to time, Madame Deputy Douane slapped her belly and thighs, making loud smacking sounds. Then, alas, the exact reverse of what ought to have happened, she peered through the keyhole to see what was going on outside. Red-haired Xuan remained exactly where he was, completely absorbed in the picture album, as usual. After finishing her bath, Madame Deputy Douane came out and said wearily, "You may go home now. I had intended to employ you beginning tomorrow. Tomorrow, go to the Europeanization tailoring house and ask for Miss Van Min. I shall put in a word for you. One way or another, you will soon be out of unemployment." "Madame, enough. You're not an intelligent man. Go home. Tomorrow you will understand. Remember, the Europeanization tailoring house, a lady's dressmaker." Red-haired Xuan departed with his heart overflowing with hope, entirely unaware that he had just been despised in exactly the way that a genuinely virtuous man is despised.